My name is Chelsea Honstain. I'm a family nurse practitioner working at CS Mott Children's Hospital at the University of Michigan. I am the vice chair of the Advanced Practice Provider Steering Committee through ASTCT and the Education Subcommittee chair. That's where I land in planning this track. We are really pleased to put together a really robust two-day event for our APP colleagues across the country. When we find that this track appeals to many more individuals outside of APPs, we see a lot of pharmacy involvement, nursing involvement, a lot of junior faculty and fellow involvement attending our track, in addition to a couple hundred APPs at Tandem every year. For those who are not familiar, our track is divided into 2 days. The first day on February 13th, this Thursday, is the general track. So we really target general sessions that appeal to both pediatric and adult providers. Topics such as VOD, fever of unknown origin, refractory GVHD, more global type pictures, CAR T management. As opposed to day number 2 on Friday, the 14th, we will divide out into a pediatric and an adult track. The tracks run simultaneously side by side with all time slots lining up, making it really easy for our colleagues to hop back and forth between sessions if they have a vested interest in a pediatric topic at one time and then want to hop to the adult session at the time thereafter or jump between them. The rooms are typically side by side, making it very easy to access both. And again, the times correspond, so you're never going to walk into a session in the middle of it. Those tracks, again, as I alluded to, are pediatric and adult specific content. So we find that most APPs across the country either work in isolated pediatric or adults in transplant unless they're at a smaller center. So we do see a division on those days, but again, some overlap. A lot of pediatric providers helping provide content for the ped side. So really getting input from APPs across the country on what they want to hear and who they want to hear from, as well as adult providers on our committee helping to provide the adult content. I think this track is really important to answer your first question because the field is evolving, as everyone knows. Medicine is a never-ending game, and with research, especially in the field of transplant, we find that it's really important to keep our APPs up to date on best practice, as they're often the frontline providers with the most hands-on time with patients. So really wanting to keep our colleagues across the country up to date. And again, appealing to other disciplines, we have really good feedback from and involvement from both the speaker level and attendee level from pharmacists and physicians and fellows alike. There's one take-home message I can share with any APP is do not let the intimidation factor influence your attending of any session. There are APPs with 0 years of experience, and there are APPs with 20+ years experience. And physical appearance cannot help you tease out where people sit in those levels of experience. I myself, for example, have been in the field for 10 years, but I have more senior colleagues who have only been in for a handful. And I really think that the other message I want to take home to our colleagues is that this is a wonderful opportunity for networking, connecting with other APPs across the country, which is especially important to people that might be in more of a silo, a smaller center with less colleagues, as opposed to our bigger institutions who have big APP teams. But reach out to someone. If you connect to someone, you're sitting next to someone, it looks like a friendly face, reach out. Do not hesitate, because I have met some amazing colleagues and now friends from across the country that I otherwise would have never made a connection with if it wasn't for conferences like Tandem and CEC through ASTCT. Never be afraid to ask a question. If you have a speaker who is presenting on content you are unsure of, do not be intimidated to raise your hand, to go up to the mic and ask that question. It will often be so well received, and you will leave with the answer that you were seeking, as opposed to sitting on something because you were afraid to ask. Others are also wondering that same question oftentimes too, so be the voice. One, don't just stick to one track. So I myself hop to pharmacy track, the nursing track, the physician track. If there's a topic that interests you, go to it. Doesn't matter where you are in your career, what your experience is, or what your discipline even is. Everyone is welcome on all tracks. So if there's a topic of interest to you, pursue it, learn from it. And the other thing is if you have feedback for any of these session planners, myself and my track especially, if you have a session that you felt like could be used in the future, or something you felt like was a major content gap that you were missing. We put out a survey on our rotating slides between sessions. Please fill out the survey. Let us know. We want to hear from you because we're tailoring to a huge group of APPs across the country with, a handful of individuals contributing to the content. So if there's something that's missing or something that's desired, we would love to hear from you so that we can make each conference more and more successful each year. Get involved. That will be my takeaway again. There's many ways to get involved through ASTCT and through Tandem. There's subcommittees you can work on. There's working groups. There's many resources on mentorship, onboarding new APPs, ways to connect outside if you're intimidated to reach out to somebody at Tandem alone. You can reach out via the intranet or via email. Let us know if you're interested in getting involved, and we'll help find a place for you.